That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to Higher Ed Pulse, your Monday morning energizer covering insights and trends in higher ed marketing and enrollment. I'm Mallory Wilsey, bringing over 15 years of ed tech and marketing expertise to your earbuds.
And I'm Seth Odell, joining the Pulse with my own adventures from leading marketing at top universities to founding Kanahoma, one of the industry's fastest growing digital marketing agencies.
Each week, we bring you the kind of insider insights you typically only find over cocktails with your pals at a conference.
It's fast, it's fun, and it's designed for you, the busy higher ed professional.
You're not just listening to another podcast.
You're checking the pulse of higher education.
Higher Ed Pulse is part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher ed professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. And we're back live at HighEdWeb. Now I am sitting down with Nathan Monk, the co-founder of Prospectus Plus. Nathan was just telling me about how this is his first HighEdWeb experience. And he is going to talk to us today about the future of the Viewbook, which, as a former admissions professional, I'm very curious about this. But Nathan, before we dive into that, how is your first HighEdWeb, and what golden nuggets have you been finding?
Yeah, it's been amazing. We've learned so much speaking to the attendees. I've learned lots of things, actually. We thought it would be a sure thing that the term Viewbook would be accepted over here instead of Prospectus, like it is back home in the UK. But actually, it seems to be quite a 50-50 split, you know. Up north, there's perhaps an acceptance of the term Viewbook. Down south, not so much. So that's been a real golden nugget for me, certainly.
So as a former admissions professional and someone who's in marketing, there is something really lovely about holding a Viewbook that's beautiful and printed, and you feel the paper and you see the images. But let's be real, that is expensive. It doesn't scale, and you cannot individualize that content super easily. So I think there is absolutely something here about the future of the Viewbook that is digital, and I've got a suspicion that that's where you're going to take us. So what is the future of the Viewbook, Nathan?
So I think the future of the Viewbook is going to be something more akin to a pre-application companion for students. I think that whatever you do in this kind of realm, it needs to be personalized. It needs to be instant. Because that is the baseline expectation from students these days. And I think that print can really struggle to do that. It's not impossible to do with print, but as you've said, it can be really quite expensive to do. So I think that looking at digital avenues is the smart choice. It allows you to hit a mass scale really easily. And there's actually loads of innovation in technology that's mature these days that will allow you to do some really fantastic things that can actually turn the Viewbook into something that has traditionally been a passive piece of information passing from A to B and could turn it into something that's more strategic.
So over the last decade plus, as I've watched institutions start to rethink their approach to the Viewbook many times, and for reasons like maybe ease, a lot of the times what that means is, I'm going to take whatever I've printed, just slap it into a PDF or maybe a flip book and deliver that PDF via email to a prospective student. Something tells me you're mentioning my favorite word, innovation. I'm guessing we are not talking about that type of experience. So tell me about, what is the ideal experience for that prospective student if they are getting a digital Viewbook, and how are you guys supporting that?
Okay, so I could have done a whole other session on why PDFs are not the way to go, right? There are so many problems with PDFs. I'll try to keep this short. Not only are they an accessibility nightmare, which is a big deal, there are lots of regulations around the world now for accessibility. You kind of painting a target on your back if you go down that route. But actually, we need to talk about the user experience of PDFs. most young people are looking at content on smaller devices, cell phones, tablets, and PDFs are often replications of printed artifacts, which means that you're getting a landscape document on a portrait device, and they read terribly. You have to zoom in, do this kind of weird zooming dance on your phone to make it work. It's just an awful reading experience. I think we should be leaning into truly digital avenues. You know, the web is hugely mature, but I do accept that the reason that people have relied on PDFs for so long is that it's easy to make them beautiful. And that's something that the web has struggled with, I think, for the best part of a decade. Most university websites look largely the same. They don't have that editorial feel that is so easy to make in a PDF or a printed piece. But again, technology has developed in just the past couple of years, really, to a point where you can now do that. So what we've been working on is a truly digitally native experience that has that editorial feel. So you have that pang of nostalgia and go, wow, this looks so beautiful. But at the same time, it's doing so much more than its printed counterparts or things like PDFs are doing.
I truly believe that the future is around personalization, maybe even individualization of content. So in order to achieve that, of course, you need to be able to connect some of that technology that you're talking about to each other, which is, frankly, higher ed's had some struggles with that. Not only are our units siloed on campus, but oftentimes our technology stacks are siloed too. So are you able to overcome some of those barriers, and where are you bringing that level of personalization or individualization into the experience for the student?
So personalization is a big bet for us. We think that it is, again, a baseline expectation from students to have a personalized experience. So I'm from the UK, in case you can't tell. And back home, the prospectus, as we call it, typically includes every course that an institution offers. So typically that means at least 100 to 150 pages of the catalogue that is handed out is dedicated to every course at the university. Now, if you're a student, 1 page, maybe 2 pages is relevant to you, tops. So we've tried to really cut that down. And instead, we're trying to understand the student before they even get there. We're trying to find out the courses that are relevant to them and only serve them the university information that is relevant to them, because we feel that that's going to make it convert better for the university. So we have this upfront personalization piece. We're also able to link in with external systems like CRMs, for example, and pass along the information that we've garnered about the student so that we can then give them that more personalized experience on an ongoing basis throughout all of those communication workflows that universities love. So we're trying to do it in both this upfront personalization piece and that longer tail too.
That makes a ton of sense, and I feel like that's the unlock for really scaling this within an organization or institution. Well, this has been terrific, Nathan. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us. Do you have any parting thoughts on this topic before we wrap up today?
I should say that I am not advocating for the death of print. I think that print has a wonderful place in our systems, right? And it can be incredible, but it would be to rethink and really look at what the audience wants. And if you can be personalized, you can be instantaneous with your communications, then absolutely go for it. But I personally, and yes, I'm biased, but I personally think that digital is the best way to achieve that.
Nathan, I can't agree more. I think digital is clearly the future, whether you're 16 or 66, right? That student today has expectations of our institution brands because of the ways they interact with all the other brands in their life. And it just feels like taking things in the right direction from that really key engagement point that can make a meaningful difference on that student's ability to select their right fit institution. So kudos to you and your team for putting something highly useful together. Where can folks find you if they want to connect with you after listening to this interview?
Well, I do love a little bit of LinkedIn, so people can find me on Nathan Monk, M-O-N-K. And if they do want to find out any more about Prospectus Plus, you can find us at prospectus.plus.
Love it. All right. And that wraps up another interview from HighEdWeb. Listeners, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. The HighEdWeb Pulse is part of the Enrollify Podcast Network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our show helps higher ed marketers and admission pros find their next big idea and features a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Brian Gross, Eddie Francis, Jenny Lee Fowler, and so many of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.